Hello, and welcome back to Travel with Mila. I'm Mila Carter, and today I want to talk about something that can completely transform your travel life. Making smart decisions that save you thousands of dollars. I'm not talking about cutting corners or sacrificing experiences. I'm talking about being strategic, thinking ahead, and making choices that maximize your money and your time on the road. I've learned that the difference between someone who travels constantly on a budget and someone who can barely afford one trip is often just a few smart decisions. These aren't complicated strategies. They're simple, practical choices that add up to massive savings. So today I'm going to share the smart travel decisions that have saved me thousands, and I'm confident they'll save you thousands too. The first smart decision is booking flights strategically. Most people book flights whenever they decide to travel, but that's not the smart way to do it. The smartest travelers book flights months in advance, typically 2 to 3 months before their trip. Prices are significantly lower when you book early. I once booked a flight 6 months in advance and saved over £400 compared to booking just 2 weeks before. That's a massive difference. Another strategy is to be flexible with your travel dates. If you can travel midweek instead of on weekends, you'll find much cheaper flights. Tuesday and Wednesday flights are typically the cheapest. Also, consider flying into secondary cities instead of major hubs. Flying into a smaller airport near your destination can save you hundreds of pounds. I once flew into a secondary airport and saved £300 on a single ticket. It was only an hour's drive from where I wanted to be, and it was absolutely worth it. The second smart decision is choosing accommodation strategically. This is where a lot of budget travelers go wrong. They book the cheapest accommodation they can find, but sometimes paying a little more gets you so much more value. I've learned to look for accommodation that's slightly outside the main tourist area, but still easily accessible by public transport. You'll pay significantly less and often get a better experience. Another smart choice is to stay longer in fewer places instead of moving around constantly. Every time you move, you lose travel time and spend money on transportation. I once stayed in one city for 2 weeks instead of moving every few days, and I saved hundreds of pounds on transportation costs alone. Plus, I had a much better experience because I got to know the city properly. Consider also booking accommodation that includes a kitchen. If you can cook some of your own meals, you'll save a fortune on food costs. I typically save between 30 and 50 pounds per day just by cooking breakfast and some dinners myself. The third smart decision is planning your itinerary based on geography, not just attractions. This sounds simple, but most people don't do it. Instead of jumping around randomly, plan your route so you're moving in one direction. This saves you money on transportation and time. I once planned a Southeast Asia trip by moving north to south instead of jumping around, and I saved over £200 on transport costs. It also meant I spent less time traveling and more time actually experiencing places. Another part of this is using slow travel methods when possible. Overnight buses and trains might seem uncomfortable, but they save you a night's accommodation. I've taken countless overnight buses and trains, and while they're not always comfortable, they're a smart financial decision that saves you money while you sleep. The fourth smart decision is being smart about food. This doesn't mean eating poorly or never treating yourself. It means being strategic. Eat your main meal at lunch instead of dinner. Lunch menus are typically much cheaper than dinner menus at the same restaurants. I've saved 50% on meals just by eating my big meal at lunch. Also, eat where locals eat. Tourist restaurants are always more expensive. Wander away from the main squares and you'll find authentic, delicious, and affordable food. Another smart choice is to buy groceries and make some of your own meals. Even if you eat out most of the time, cooking a few meals yourself can save you hundreds of pounds over a trip. I typically spend between 5 and 10 pounds per day on groceries for breakfasts and snacks, which is a fraction of what I'd spend eating out. The fifth smart decision is using public transportation instead of taxis or ride-sharing apps. Taxis and apps like Uber can be incredibly expensive in tourist areas. Public transportation is almost always cheaper and often more authentic. I've saved thousands of pounds over the years just by using buses, trains, and metros instead of taxis. Learn how the public transport system works in each city you visit, and you'll save money and have a more authentic experience. The sixth smart decision is getting travel insurance that actually covers what you need. Don't skip travel insurance or get the cheapest option. A good travel insurance policy can save you thousands if something goes wrong. I once got sick while traveling and had to see a doctor. My travel insurance covered the entire cost, which was over 500 pounds. Without insurance, that would have been a disaster. Getting comprehensive travel insurance is one of the smartest decisions you can make. The seventh smart decision is using travel rewards and credit cards strategically. If you have a credit card that gives you travel rewards or cash back, use it for your travel expenses. Over time, these rewards add up to free flights and accommodation. I've earned enough travel rewards to cover several free flights just by using the right credit card for my travel expenses. However, only do this if you can pay off your credit card in full each month. Paying interest on rewards is never worth it. The eighth smart decision is traveling during shoulder season instead of peak season. Peak season is when prices are at their highest. Shoulder season, the months just before or after peak season, offers the best value. The weather is still great, but prices are significantly lower and crowds are smaller. I've saved hundreds of pounds and had better experiences by traveling in shoulder season. This is one of the smartest decisions you can make for your budget. The ninth smart decision is booking accommodation and activities directly, instead of through booking platforms when possible. Booking platforms take a commission, which means you're paying more. If you book directly with a hotel or tour operator, you often get a better price. I've saved money by contacting hotels directly and negotiating rates, especially for longer stays. The 10th smart decision is setting a daily budget and sticking to it. This sounds obvious, but most people don't do it. Set a realistic daily budget based on your destination and then track your spending. When you know exactly how much you're spending each day, you make smarter choices. I use a simple notes app to track my daily spending, and it keeps me accountable. Finally, the most important smart decision is to travel slowly. The faster you travel, the more you spend on transportation and eating out. This is the decision that has saved me the most money and given me the best experiences. So, to recap, the smart travel decisions that save you thousands are booking flights months in advance, choosing accommodation strategically, planning your itinerary based on geography, being smart about food, using public transportation, getting proper travel insurance, using travel rewards, traveling in shoulder season, booking directly when possible, setting a daily budget, and traveling slowly. These decisions aren't complicated, but they're incredibly powerful. If you implement even half of these strategies, you'll save thousands on your travels. I hope this video has given you practical strategies to save money on your travels. Have you used any of these strategies? Or do you have another smart travel decision that saves you money? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Travel with Mila for more budget travel tips and destination guides. I upload new videos every week, so you won't want to miss them. Until next time, happy travels!